Hey guys, so today we're going to be looking at people share the creepy stories. Yeah, let's just get right into the video. In the late 70s, my uncle was studying medicine at the University of Chicago. After a morning class, he decided that he would hitchhike back from home to Lincoln Park on the north side instead of pay for a taxi. A man drove up and offered my uncle a ride. The man looked normal and seemed friendly, lighthearted even, so my uncle got in the car and they started driving towards Lakeshore Drive. However, once they got there, the man drove south on Lakeshore instead of north, towards Lincoln Park. My uncle told the man he was going the wrong way and to turn around and head north. The man looked at my uncle, put his hand on his knee and said, "No son, you're coming with me," and smiled darkly at him. My uncle froze in panic, and when they hit the traffic near the South Shore, he quickly unlocked the passenger door and ran away without looking back. What the frick? This is why you don't get into a stranger's car. How many people don't listen? A year or two later, on a cold December day, my uncle was having coffee in a cafe with my future aunt when he caught something on TV that made his blood run cold. He saw the man that had picked him up from school that day the year before. He had been arrested for the suspected rape and killing of over 20 young men and boys. And it was heard that after the incident, he removed the door handle of the passenger side door to prevent the men he picked up from escaping. Holy dude. That is scary. So the uncle was just lucky he was the first person to escape kind of thing. Like no one else thought to just open the door and run away. This is why. Do not get into like a stranger's car if they just like, hey, you need a lift. Always just go for the professional service. Like an Uber, a taxi, and not someone who's just acting nice because they want to give you a ride. Oh. My 4-year-old daughter was supposedly asleep when I heard noises coming from her upstairs bedroom. I tried to listen but could not make out what was being said. I approached the room and she stopped talking. Thinking I alarmed her, I went into the room. At the time, she was sharing it with a 3-year-old sister. I walked in and saw the 4-year-old sitting up in bed. I smiled and said, "Is everything okay?" She said fine, but her sister said they were keeping her up. I asked who. My 4-year-old said sorry, but that she was talking. When I asked her who she was talking to, my 3-year-old sat up and said, "The girl in the window. She said you were coming." After I shit a brick, I asked who the girl was, and they both said a girl comes and stands in front of the window at night and talks to them. Oh, freak. Yo, I cannot. If I was a parent and my kids were like, yeah, some woman talks to us in the window at night. She just stands there. Hell no. We're getting out of here. Not knowing what to say, I said, okay, tuck them in and hang around outside the door. The next day, I asked about the girl. They said she came back but was mad. I waited a few days and asked again. My 4-year-old said the girl in the window was still mad. I forgot about it for about a week when my wife said, "Who are the girls talking to upstairs?" Freaked out, I ran upstairs and both girls were sitting under the window looking up. They turned and looked at me and asked if I wanted to meet the girl. When they turned around disappointed, they said the girl left. It has been about 5 years since, and I have not heard about the girl in the window since then. Oh, good thing that she left. Good. What the hell, man? Both the kids saw the girl. What if they were just like trolling, right? What if they were like to each other, "Hey, do you want to scare daddy? Do you want to make him pretend that we see ghosts?" During boarding school, this was making the rounds. Every boarding school has some odd tradition or skill students must undertake before graduation. At my school, it was knowing how to swim, and at my brother's, it was ballroom dance classes. Anyway, this specific school had a very outdoorsy tradition, and before graduation, students were required to spend a long weekend camping alone in the woods. What kind of tradition is that? No thank you. Why would I want to camp alone in the woods? Why? A faculty member would drop the students off after classes on Thursday and pick them up after the weekend. Most students look forward to the experience as a calm spell before graduation week, with all the family drama and stress of moving out of school. A girl is dropped off at the location and has a wonderful time all weekend. She writes in her journal. She takes tons of pictures. She sees lots of wildlife and relishes the calm away from other people. She is very rested by the time she returns to campus. 2 weeks later, after the insanity of graduating and moving out of school, she develops the pictures from the trip. As she flips through the photos, she realizes that one whole roll of pictures were of her sleeping. Ah, hell no. Someone took pictures of her while she was sleeping at night. What, did they like go into like her tent or something and just take pictures of her and then they left? Oh, freak. This is why you don't go camping by yourself. Why are people so ballsy? Huh? Like why? Seriously. Like how do you have the balls to do that? How? I don't even have the balls to order a new meal without practicing my words first. I literally have to practice it in my mind first. How do some people just go through life without being nervous? How? How? I had a girlfriend in high school whose stepfather had sexually abused her when she was younger. She had told me about it, so I knew. She also would talk in her sleep, and not just say random things. She would start dreaming, then start talking, and you could talk back to her. She would talk to you but not wake up. One afternoon, she fell asleep and started talking. She kind of started to whine, then said help. I asked what she needed help with. She was telling me that she was in the kitchen and that he was in his room. He wanted to play the game. I told her that I was just outside. All she had to do was come outside and I would save her. She continued to whine and told me she'd get in trouble. I tried to convince her a couple times to come outside to me, but she wouldn't do it. She was really sounding stressed, so I woke her up. It was really weird and I felt so terrible for her. I told her what had happened and she just cried. That's so sad. Man, the fact that some other kid or someone is probably going through this right now just makes it even sadder because you know this is happening. And you know what makes it worse? When they do tell someone and no one believes them. One school day, a boy named Tom was sitting in class and doing math. It was 6 more minutes until after school. As he was doing his homework, something caught his eye. His desk was next to the window and he turned and looked at the grass outside. It looked like a picture. When school was over, he ran to the spot where he saw it. He ran so fast that no one else could grab it. He picked it up and smiled. He had a picture of the most beautiful girl he had ever seen. She had a dress with tights on and red shoes, and her hand was formed into a peace sign. She was so beautiful he wanted to meet her, so he ran all over the school and asked everyone if they knew or have seen her before. But everyone he asked said no. He was devastated. When he was home, he asked his older sister if she knew the girl, but unfortunately she also said no. It was very late, so Tom walked up the stairs, placed the picture on his bedside table, and went to sleep. In the middle of the night, Tom was awakened by a tap on his window. It was like a nail tapping. He got scared. After the tapping, he heard a giggle. He saw a shadow near his window, so he got out of his bed, walked towards his window, opened it up, and followed the giggling. By the time he reached it, it was gone. The next day again, he asked his neighbors if they knew her. Everybody said sorry, no. When his mother came home, he even asked her if she knew her. She said no. He went to his room, placed the picture on his desk, and fell asleep. Once again, he was awakened by a tapping. He took the picture and followed the giggling. He walked across the road when he suddenly got hit by a car. He was dead with the picture in his hand. The driver got out of the car and tried to help him, but it was too late. Suddenly, he saw the picture and picked it up. He saw a cute girl holding up 3 fingers. Yo! What the frick? Okay, this was definitely like a made up scary story. Not a real life story, but still so creepy. This reminds me of the clown story. Do you guys know of the clown ghost story? It's about a clown that this kid really liked this clown and it was holding up like 7 fingers or something. And the kid was like, I really want this clown. I want this clown so much. But then the store owner wouldn't sell the clown because he was like, no, I'm not going to sell it to you. We don't sell this clown anymore. It's just for display. But then the kid was whining so much and the parents were like, we'll pay double. We'll pay you how much, whatever. And then the store owner was like, okay, fine. You can have the clown. But you must not leave the kid alone at home. Never ever leave the kid alone at home with the clown. And the parents were like, okay, obviously not thinking much about it. And one day the parents had to go somewhere, so they obviously left the kid alone with the clown. And guess what? When they came back, the kid was gone and the clown had 8 fingers up. It totally reminded me of that clown story. That actually scared me for like my whole childhood. That is why I hated clowns for my whole childhood. And guess who told me that story when I was like 4 years old? My brother. He literally made me so scared of clowns. Every single time I saw a clown, I was just so freaked out. And I guess what happened in 2016? All of a sudden, clowns were taking over the world. What even was that? Like the creepy clown thing? Seriously, I miss those days. 2016. That was a good time. Well, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!